Welcome back to the Musketeers podcast. Today we are myself, Anderson,
Sayan,
and Jose, the podcast where we talk about everything and anything.
Today we have a very special guest, Noémy Marques, our first guest.
Oh no,
we fucked it. Do you want to say something about yourself? Present yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Noémy Marques. I want to thank the boys for having me here. It's a pleasure to be their first guest. So we used to all attend the same high school back in Luanda.
Yep.
And now here we are in Paris, college students, yay!
Yeah.
All right.
First of all, we'd like to thank you for being here.
Yeah. I was gonna skip that.
It.
I was gonna skip that. I'm sorry. I'm not polite.
No, we're not used to having guests.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No
the
problem.
pleasure's all mine.
We're gonna say what the other YouTubers say. You've been our number one requested. She
She actually has.
We got plenty of people saying you should get Noémy on. They also want Ornella, Joel.
I immediately thought of Ornella. I think
One day,
you
work
should
in
come.
progress. Work in progress. So today we have a few topics that we would like to talk about. If that's okay with you.
It's always okay with me.
All right.
Sounded totally natural, bro.
It is. It is.
100%. Yeah. Well, you're known kind of for like your fun little videos on Instagram. You've made quite a following with it, with over 10,000 followers by now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know exactly?
Do you even know how many followers
Have you
you
lost
have?
count?
She doesn't know.
Right now I have 13.9.
Oh,
Can you check? Somebody check. I bet she's wrong.
Nah, I know.
Okay. All right. Can we start with that? Where have you been these few years or months? I don't know.
Okay, so
Like
that's...
she moved to Paris and after said, I'm done.
Well, okay. So for those who didn't know, I started making content on Instagram on IGTVs precisely back in 2019. So I believe it started with fashion content at first.
I went to check out. It was that, yeah.
Yeah, it was that. I was just like playing around with outfits, and I always really just enjoyed playing with fashion a little. But it started as a hobby, and it was always a hobby for me. At some point, my mom encouraged me to start having partnerships and take this a bit more seriously and capitalize on the talents. However, for me, it was just never that serious, and I always put that in mind that if I were to take it very seriously, it would become I'd feel forced to do it, and I always wanted it to be about pleasure, to be about expressing myself, to be something fun, and I really enjoyed editing videos because for me, it was so satisfying to pay attention to the details, to cut. Some may think that it's like dreadful to edit, but I, on the contrary,
This guy over here.
I mean, it is because it's a podcast. You can't really do much about it. But
yeah, I feel but like since I worked a lot with image and aesthetics and colors, for me it was such a process trying to find my own aesthetic. I had my inspiration, who's actually Lena Situation. I don't know if you guys know her. She's pretty big here in France. And so, she was like always an inspiration because she was super creative in the way she edits her videos and even in the type of content. So it started with fashion. Then I started making what we call in Portuguese desabafos.
Yeah.
So for me, it was about basically like short podcasts without all the material. And it was literally about talking about a specific subject. Sometimes it was going to be like kind of controversial. Other times it was just things that I had on my chest and felt like sharing. And so I started with that, and then eventually I stopped.
So I mean, you started creating just for fun. Then it was never meant to be something big.
Nah, it was never meant to be something big. Yeah. But like, of course, my account was public because it was so nice to engage with people, get feedback, and I'd have like the best suggestions always for videos. So I never ran out of ideas on my own, but also like my friends and the people that were following me were always making sure to contribute to my content and tell me if something could be bettered or topics I could talk about later on. So
what happened? Why did you stop? You coming to Paris? All we see are like some pics from time to time. No, we want some Dr. Love, some Zabaf. We ready to go.
What, did you get too busy with the student life? Was it the transition to a new city?
She doesn't even know.
Put on the spot.
Okay, yeah. I feel like all eyes are on me right now.
They are.
Okay, so that's gonna be long. A lot of things made me stop posting content. At first, I was really excited about coming to Paris because I was like, wow, my content is going to be great. I'll get to share all the changes in my life with the people that have been following me. I'll get to talk about the transition from living in Luanda all my life and then going to like a big city and becoming an adult, living alone, many responsibilities, being a law student, making new friends. So I was very excited at first. I even thought of creating the series that would be called Noémy in Paris. I know, not very original.
You changed your name, no? On Instagram, it's Noémy in Paris.
No. It's still like for fun. I changed it for like 2 hours, but then I was like, nah, that's so lame. I'm keeping Noémy Marques, but my TikTok is called Noémy in Paris.
Oh, okay.
I never post things, by the way. But yeah, so I was like, yeah, it feels exciting to share all that. But then eventually I came here, and in the first few months, I was like, okay, this is great, but I feel like experiencing this in private. Like, for some reason, it just felt like my first year here was something so intimate that was meant for me to live it on my own and kind of not share it with other people.
Yeah.
Oh, that does like make sense.
I mean, she's talking to us. We usually don't post anything on social media.
Yeah.
Like this podcast was literally to get us out of our comfort zone. And yeah, so we totally understand that.
Yeah, we got so many. I remember when we posted the first video, like someone who were like, "What the hell? You guys like never do anything on social media. Like now you're creating a podcast." And yeah, we completely get your side of like wanting to keep that first year like private.
I mean,
but why did you like your content is very like it was at least very. I remember like she was one of the first people actually using IGTV, which doesn't really exist now. It became Reels.
True.
Why did you stick with Reels instead of like creating YouTube videos or like doing TikToks or something else? What was about Reels that you loved so much?
So I feel like on Instagram, you just grow so fast because the YouTube platform, it feels like it's very saturated. Like there's a lot of content, lots of creators, and I feel like it's hard. Like it's harder to make a name for yourself on the YouTube platform. And at least in Angola, my experience was, and you can see that a lot with Ornella, like whenever she posts IGTVs, she gets tons of views, and on her YouTube account, she has a pretty good engagement as well with others. But it's just like, I feel like on Instagram, it's more like fast content. Everyone has Instagram. Everyone is going to share with their friends, their family. It takes like one post on the stories for people to know what's up.
Yeah,
and that Noémy posted a new content. So for me, it was about that rapid effect. It was just going to be fast. People were going to share. It was going to be more dynamic. Whereas on YouTube, some people, they're just anonymous there. They don't even have a Gmail account associated with YouTube. True. They know comments. So for me, it was really more about engaging. Because what's the fun when you make all this content if it's not to be shared with others and then like get that
feedback?
Yeah, that feedback. So totally for me, it was about that. But a lot of people suggested I went on YouTube indeed. And for some reason, Instagram just sort of became my comfort zone. And there was so many things you could do at once, like engage with others on stories, just post normal pictures, IGTV. So I was kind of comfortable with the format, although sometimes I was like, I feel like I talk too much for someone.
What about TikTok? Because TikTok is also very fast paced.
Yeah, TikTok is very fast paced, but same, for some reason I feel like it's super hard to get famous. Yeah, Insta's just my baby, really. I'm just so attached to the app in itself. But now it definitely changed a lot. It kind of became TikTok.
It did, yeah.
It did, yeah.
So,
but I mean,
do you like that?
We of all people should know, should relate to what she's saying. Like out of all the platforms that we use, Instagram is by far
the one with the most reach.
Yeah, the one with the most reach, the one with the most engagement, and yeah.
By the way, how do you feel about like Instagram becoming TikTok, pretty much?
Well, I feel like it's so not original that is just becoming some other app. Same, like, I think Instagram was trying to copy all apps at first, like Snapchat with the stories, and now like the Reels with TikTok. And also at some point, people were really criticizing Instagram for being this very commercial, almost like a store.
Yeah.
So I feel like on one hand, it has lost like its spontaneous side and
The originality, kind of.
That's kind
I'd
of why
say.
BeReal became quite popular now. Like I see a lot of people have a BeReal because it kind of was what Instagram was back in the day. Instagram in the beginning, where it was like that little brown thing with the rainbow. It was just like, I'm gonna post a random picture of my day and for my friends. And BeReal is like, you capture that one random moment with your friends during your day.
You have BeReal?
I don't, but I should create one. The only reason I don't have one is because my phone's kind of the ghetto right now. The camera's not working, so whenever you see me post things on my stories, it's like because I airdropped it, like a friend took the picture for me and she airdropped it on my phone. I need to fix that. But I think I'm gonna get BeReal because, as you said, it's just very spontaneous. Like all of a sudden, I don't know, we're in class and my friend is like, "Oh my God, my BeReal, come."
Yeah.
And like that's it. Or sometimes she doesn't even like warn us and my face is there and I'm looking ugly. But yeah, for sure it lost a lot of spontaneity, and that's one of the many reasons why I also stopped. It's because I feel like as a content creator sometimes you're expected to provide people with a certain consistency in terms of content.
Yeah.
Because that's a way to ensure that your platform grows, because if you only post like for 1 month and then you disappear for 3 months, then it's like you're not relevant anymore. People are gonna search for your content on other people's pages, and also you just sometimes people are gonna steal your ideas. Well, not really steal, but it's like you can think about something, but if you don't put it in action, then someone else is gonna do it and it's gonna look like you copied them. So for me, it was the fact that being a content creator also, it kind of forced me to always be present and to always engage with people. And I'm an extrovert, but I feel like for all extroverts, it comes to a point where your social battery is just so low.
Finished.
Yeah.
I want to use that to like, first I want to go back to you saying that you wanted it to be more private. How did you deal with being so exposed and at a young age? Because you started pretty early.
Yeah.
So how did you deal with that? Because I mean, I wouldn't be able to. Because I used to actually, I want to say this. I want to say this. I used to do a lot of musicals.
Ooh.
Yeah, and at the time I had 5K followers, and I was very happy.
The good old days.
Famous.
Like,
He used to get made fun of so hard.
no, exactly. And like I really enjoyed, and to this day I enjoy like recording, editing, stuff like that. But I stopped because of a stupid comment somebody made. Somebody called me gay. And at that age, it was like, oh crap, somebody thinks I'm gay because of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop. And I think that's part of the reason I still don't like to post. But yeah, like for me, it made me stop. So I wanted to know, like, how do you deal with that? And like, do you get a lot of hate?
So I think I started when I was 14, 15. Actually, now that I'm remembering, the video is not longer on my Instagram anymore, but the first ever video I made was in 2018. So I was 14 turning 15 or already 15, I'm not sure. And it was actually a desabafo, so basically podcast type of content. I just talked about being light-skinned in Rwanda.
That's hard. Our life is hard.
The title of the video was actually Mulatas Não Prestam. But then I deleted it, not because I wasn't satisfied with what I said. It's just that like the editing was not giving. But any other content in 2019, I feel like it's still there, so you guys can take a look. Don't judge me. But yeah, so I started pretty young, and honestly, like you said, being perceived is hard. Like, and that's why I wanted to be private, because I was like, can people just stop perceiving me? And I really don't see how famous people deal with that, because people are just gonna have random opinions about your life. I feel like it's like that for everyone who's not even famous. People are just gonna be very opinionated when it comes to your decisions, how you carry yourself. But when you put yourself out there, let's say like on Musical.ly at the time, or Instagram or YouTube, you name it, and people start to engage with your content, it's like, I feel like there's this weird sense of familiarity that takes place. Like people think they know you. When they just know what you...
Like what you put out there. And
Based off your content, they'll create ideas about you. They'll want to give opinions about your life that aren't true.
Was there ever like a comment that you were like, yo, fuck this dude?
I think she has one in mind.
So, back in 2020, I was posting vlogs. Lovely, by the way. I miss it so much. And so it was working super well because people were being very entertained, and it was right after quarantine. We spent months at home.
Yeah.
So I was in Lisbon with my friends, my boyfriend at the time, posting a lot of videos, and people got to see a glimpse, a 5-10 minutes glimpse of what it was like to spend the day with me, and to be me and to have my friends and all that. And so I remember I posted a lot, like my boyfriend at the time, and it was never comments that were made face to face. But then, like, when we broke up, I heard that some girls were like lurking on the page all the time to see if I was ever gonna delete the videos because they wanted to get with him.
Oh my
and
God.
they were like, "Oh my God, I want them to break up so bad."
bro.
Like,
Damn,
Girls. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Do you know the girls?
I know.
Oh. Beef.
I know.
She got beef.
If Noémy doesn't talk to you anymore, you know why now.
I mean, I never talked to them in the first place, but that's the thing. Like,
Oh.
so there's this like the craziest story. So you know how in Angola everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
And even
Yeah.
if you've never seen like the person face to face, it's like sometimes you just
The
know their
uncle
name.
of the cousin of the somehow
Exactly.
related.
You just know someone that knows them, or like for some reason you know them through social media. It's gotta be Twitter, Instagram, anyways. And so I met this girl on Twitter like a lot of years ago, and she was like this virtual friend that I never met face to face, but she was friends with some people I knew. And so basically, she was like one of the girls actually trying to make friends. Yeah, she was like one of the girls because there were many trying to don't post your man, lady. Yeah, and she was like. She texted me after like 2 years of not speaking just randomly because she was never like a real friend to begin with. And I think she was trying to get information from me. Like, you know, when you feel like someone is getting close to you for the
Like,
wrong
yeah, and you're like,
They
reasons.
want something.
what? Yeah.
Exactly. And I had this weird feeling about her, but she never actively mentioned him or my relationship. But I could tell that she was trying, to be close, and I wasn't feeling it. And tell me why, 3 days later, I get a text from my boyfriend being like, "Do you know this girl? She's been
Oh, she's trying to make the move.
Yeah.
She's trying to slide in.
Yeah, and I was just like, why are girls like that sometimes? Like, relax. Let me be happy for a second. You can have him later. Like,
God
it's gonna be your
damn.
turn.
She's just trying to be happy too.
No, exactly. And I think that's the downside of like exposing your private life so much, and especially relationships when you're a girl, because people are like, okay, I see how happy you are. I'm trying to get some of the happiness too.
Remember that show on Netflix? What's it called? Like one Too Hot to Handle or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember there was like a little conversation where they were having, and it was like people are more attracted to like if you're in a relationship, I'm more attracted to her. Because it's like, oh, that's how she's gonna be when she's with me. She's gonna treat me like that, so it makes them more attracted. You notice? For some reason, when you're in a relationship, like now you're getting hella DMs. Like,
Nah,
what
it's
was
because
this when I was single?
It's our nature. You want what you can't get. So
Yeah.
You'd know about that, wouldn't you?
this podcast isn't about me. So Noémy.
Okay, buddy.
Sounds like they got some personal beef going on.
Nothing. Everything good.
But being in the city of love, have you got any new boo or anything?
Oh, bro, she won't say it. She wants to keep it private now.
Actually, don't have a problem saying it. Right now I'm single, but I mean I'm young. I have options, so I'm
Pure love.
open. But I'm a certified lover girl at heart, so people are usually used to see me in a relationship. But I've actually been single for more than a year now. And when I tell that to people, they're like, "How come? You're in Paris, you're young, go be hot and have fun." And no, like I do have fun. It's just, like some people have different definitions of
now
what
we
having
can't
fun
believe her.
means.
She's gonna keep everything private. She's like,
Yeah. No, but so what do you think of being single? Like, not just being single. Like, as somebody that dated a lot growing up, you prefer being single or dating?
Dating.
Honestly,
Of course, you would say that.
She already said she's a certified lover girl.
yeah. No,
Fair.
honestly, being single has been amazing. Being single in
Come back to our side.
I feel a butt coming.
All right, let's hear this.
Being single, yeah, there is a but. So being single, I feel like being single only sucks in Luanda, to be fair, because when you're here, like, come on, when
Sure,
you're
you
here,
have a lot to do. It's fun.
you have lots to do, and your life just stops revolving around your romantic conquests. And for me, coming here, it was so easy to let go of love, or to let go of the importance that love used to have back to when I was a teenager. And so I came here and I made all these new friends. I was very focused in college, and I cried so much the first year of college because it was so hard. Yeah, it was so hard. Law school sucked for the first year. So I was crying a lot, and I also didn't have time to cry over boys. It's like I had to pick a struggle. You could cry.
It's like, or it's men or it's school.
Exactly, and I'd much rather cry about
Over
my
school?
degree for now, because I've been crying about over men, and like, okay,
Not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it, or like, I get it. I have compassion for the teenager that I was, like, getting my heart broken by men, but I just decided that for a while that wasn't gonna be my priority, because I know what it's like to be in love and to be in a relationship. So it's like, no rush. You know, when you know like what you have to give, you know you're capable of so much
You know
love
your
that
worth.
you're like, exactly. You know you're capable of so much love, but at the same time, it's like you're not in a rush to give that to someone else. You can just give that to yourself, or like to your friends, because let's also normalize your friends being like a source of love in our lives. Sometimes we're always so pressed over the things we don't have. We're so pressed over being single. We're bitter because we see people like on Instagram or on TikTok, all these cute couples, or even in the streets, in the metro sometimes. Yeah, like there are days where being single sucks, because I'm in the metro and I'm like, yeah, if I see another couple that's happier than me,
Especially
like
in Paris,
making
too much
out next to
PDA.
you.
In Paris, there's so much PDA.
I don't know.
It's the city of love.
Bro, I don't care. I don't want to see you grabbing somebody else's booty like that in front of me.
True.
Bro.
I don't like. I've never seen that in Angola. People here just grab in the
Like-
streets.
like for real.
Yo,
They're
chill.
very passionate.
Angolans are
Very
judgmental,
passionate.
bro.
Bro, I'm judgmental. I'm sorry. Don't grab your girl like that here.
You're the problem.
I mean, especially when you don't have a girl to grab in front of them.
True,
Either. Like,
that's annoying.
it's just sometimes I was just like, okay, I wish everyone that's happier than me right now to die. Like, so yeah, sometimes you do miss being in a relationship, but again, coming to Paris, the dating life.
I mean,
the
can you
charts.
show me this? Because I've been here for 3 months. I don't feel it yet.
I'm gonna take advantage of what you
Buddy,
said,
don't
I'm
make
gonna
me mention names here, man.
and I'm gonna ask you something that they don't want me to ask because they said it was cringe. But I think it's
I'm gonna
interesting.
kill myself.
What's something you would say your 18-year-old self right now?
She's still almost 18.
I know, but like,
Exactly, I just
no,
turned
but
19.
from my understanding, like she grew a
Well,
lot.
yeah, it's
these
true that the
past years.
first year
Okay.
of
And-
uni is really important. You go through a lot of important
like
transitions.
things change, and so like I wonder, like what would you tell yourself? It's a hard question.
Okay,
Yeah.
before that question, like,
Yo,
what was
what-
the hardest part about transitioning from Luanda to Paris?
Okay.
And
You can use that to
Yeah.
Okay. The hardest part, funny enough, some people are like, yeah, do you miss your parents? I do, but it's like I'm okay. You know, I feel like I've always been very independent because I'm the first child, only girl. I only have like brothers.
I always thought you was like a mommy's girl.
I'm both. Like, I'm both daddy's girl, mommy's girl. But I'm the first child, the only girl. I only have little brothers. So I was always used to, I was always very independent. Like, I always had a bunch of friends, but it's like, if one of my friends just stopped talking to me, I was like, okay, great. Like, on to the next one, you know,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I was always like, at the end of the day, I like being around people, but I was always okay with being on my own. So it wasn't so difficult when it comes to family because I'm lucky enough to be able to see them often. Like right now, they're
Yeah.
coming in 2 weeks. And also with my parents, like we don't go a day without talking. Or like sometimes it does happen, but then my mom is bitter and she's like, oh, so I see that you found yourself a new mom and you don't need me anymore. So we talk every day and we're very close. And also I think life here goes so fast. You
So
have-
fast.
Like it's insane.
No, but it's insane. Like, we're the other days we were saying with my colleagues, we're halfway done through the first year of university. You realize that? Like, the first
Yeah.
semester is gone.
The first semester, oh my god, I
Oh
don't
crap!
know.
True.
Yeah. No, but I feel like it's always like this. Like second semester is far more smooth, but the first semester, and especially in the first year, And
Yeah.
if you were like in a small town or like the town you were born, like with your family and everything, and then you go to a big city, the transition is just crazy because you're like, oh my God, I have so many things to
It's a
deal
new
with.
routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes school is the last thing in your list of priorities because you're still like adapting because you're moving out, you're still buying things, you're trying to cook alone, you're like, there's just a lot happening.
I remember like in the first week or so where I was still trying to get to know like the meals that I wanted to cook and stuff. You know, when you just wasted a bunch of money on groceries and you think that you're gonna make this awesome meal and after it's ass, it's
Yeah.
trash, and now you're not gonna eat dinner like properly, you're gonna have to order something, you just feel bad about yourself.
And what was like the hardest part for all of y'all, like transitioning, like living alone? Was it the cooking?
Nah,
Was
for
it
me,
the-
I know what it is. I know what it
For
is.
you, it's the cleaning.
Exactly.
Jesus
I was gonna say that.
Christ.
It's true. It's true. It's the cleaning. Like when I was in Angola, I never cleaned. Like in Angola, we have people that do that for us. I mean, it's true. It's true. Unfortunately, it's true. And I know that for me, that has been the biggest struggle. Like keep my house clean. That doesn't happen. For you guys, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it was a pretty smooth transition. Like y'all still had your parents helping you.
Yeah.
I moved here like by myself, but it was still pretty chill. Like I don't know why it just went smoothly.
My mom wasn't living with me, okay?
She was in the city at least. But I don't know. Like my dad just I don't know. Like I knew that first thing I needed to do was get a phone number so I could have a bank. That's the second thing I did because I was like, oh, banks here in France or anywhere. Since I turned 18, banks now are just horrible. I hate it.
Same.
I think it was just more like I think the hardest part was finding a routine because in Angola I already had my routine established, and so now I had to find like a way to exercise, have time for myself, study, and doing it all by yourself sometimes could be hard.
And have you been able to do all that? Like, do you feel as of now in December that you
Don't
found
lie.
the routine?
Don't lie.
Okay. I started off well. I was waking up at 6 a.m. working out and shit. This is in the beginning. I was.
Someone was inspired.
But this was before I had homework. So now, like especially close to final exams, it's like 6 a.m. Oh, the difference was winter. Like I swear, because in Angola I was used to like there's sun at 5 a.m. There's sun, so I can wake up. But I wake up the alarm. I'm like, bro, it's still night out. Like I'm supposed to be in bed. So I think my head like literally was like, you're not meant to stay in your bed.
Like
feel like
you wake up, it's nighttime, and you leave school, it's still nighttime. It's already nighttime.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like, depending on your timetable, you wake up, the sun's not there. You leave class, the sun's no
not
longer there. And I
It
feel
is
like
honestly depressing.
Not only that, bro. Even for school, like you don't want to work. It's just like it's time to go to sleep.
yeah, it affects your productivity
It
and your
does.
overall mood. Like, you're kind of depressed, and it's so cold outside, no sun, that sometimes you're just like, okay, I want to stay in. And so wintertime, it's definitely a hard time to be single. Sometimes you're like,
I want someone here to comfort me.
exactly, I'm trying to get cuddled here. Like, I'm trying to have like a winter accessory or something. you know?
Accessory, hey, yo.
I mean, no wonder a lot of people are getting back with their exes now. You check the weather. Have you
There
checked
has
the
to be
weather?
a survey. How many people got back with their exes just during the winter as soon as there's spring?
Yeah.
Need a little hug.
No, but honestly, the family part, living alone, it wasn't hard. The cooking part was definitely hard. But I'm not gonna lie, the first months I was like ordering. Now, a year later, I'm trying to cook 3-4 times a week. I feel like I found a balance in that sense. The hardest thing was actually the academic validation, because I was getting lots of academic validations back home. I used to be a very good student back in high school. Class president, had like tons of responsibility.
You remember, you were the genius.
Now we're fighting to get
Every
a 10.
teacher talked about her.
Bro, Madame Turpin, oh my God, on her.
Yeah. Every teacher.
I love her
Yeah.
so much.
Monsieur Guichard also.
I love them all so much. I feel like I'm one of these people. A lot of people hated our school, or there was just like some point where.
What do you mean
they weren't-
hated?
Well,
And who?
In Luanda.
Nah, don't say who.
I mean,
No, not the people, but like who?
I mean, in my class, I had a couple of
Oh,
friends
okay.
hating the school.
Oh, okay.
Like, not at first, but just like the last years, because eventually you just grow tired. Because for most of us in Luanda, it's like we start and we're 5 years old, and then until our 18s we're together, and so it can be a bit tiring, and sometimes you're just dreaming of how's your life
Something
gonna
else,
look like.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
dreaming of something else, of new friends, of
New challenges.
exactly. But for me, I was like, that was really a home. That was a second home for me, and I was lucky enough to have a good relationship with the teachers and like even the headmistress. So
Nah, everybody there loves you. Thought.
and I loved them. So that was like, it was good that I had such a good relationship with authority, and not just authority, like actually everyone from all classes. I felt
Yeah.
like we were just one big family.
Yeah. Oh, that's something about our school. I think it's not even Angola. It's just our school.
Yeah.
We integrate people really fast.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
I think since we're so small, like in numbers, like our class used to be like 20 people, 30 people, and like as soon as they get in there, since we've always all been with each other, you enter and it's like they're directly your friends or family. And also since we're African, like directly, it's like yo, buddy, friend, like a brother, sister.
Even the
just
French people, they start using the Angolan slang.
I know you're all thinking about the same person.
We still, I saw her Sunday, and I was like, still, like you've been in Paris for
Yeah.
3 months, you're still using more Angolan
She
slang
won't
than I
change,
am.
bro.
That's insane. And I've actually been Angolanizing a friend of mine that I met here in uni. Her name's Nicoleta. I don't know if you guys check my Instagram stories
I
every
think
now
so.
and then, but she just be saying the most random things. Like sometimes she's like, "Che, oui, tens que me apresentar," and then she says the name of the person she wants me to introduce her to. Like that's just
Very
insane.
Angolan.
And she very Angolan, and she just learns so fast. And yeah, so no, I had a lot of academic validation back home, not only from having a good relationship with teachers and all that, but generally because I was happy with what I was doing, and I just loved studying so much. So for me, it just felt easy. I like to be fair, there were just times where I was revising very last minute because I was so confident in the capacities that I had that I was just like, like, let me procrastinate because at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna get it done and it's gonna get done like
Well,
right.
yeah.
So, and I came here using the same methods and thought
It does
that
Doesn't
not
work. Nah.
thinking that it was gonna work, and it didn't.
Yeah.
But a lot of people had warned me. They were like, "Yeah, it's law school, it's Sorbonne, first year. It's
gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. Don't be sad if you don't get the same grades as high school because clearly their expectations are so much high, and it's just like." Yeah, you can't really compete with the person you were in high school. So be humble a little, and eventually you might get the same results, but it's gonna be a
Have you been
gradual
able?
process. I still like, I'm trying to keep up the consistency now because the second year has been far like way better, like in terms of grades or even in terms of the subjects. Like it's so much more interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so because the first year was very like
general.
yeah, lots of theory, and sometimes I was just like, did I even pick the right course for me? Because I liked what we were doing, but I wasn't in love with it. And I always thought that I'd go to college and immediately fall in love with law because, well, to me, it just made sense. Like, I'm very argumentative. I love to speak. Even, like, taking roles as, like, class president, it just makes you want to defend people's best interests at all times. So I always had in mind that eventually I was going to be a lawyer. And, yeah.
Is that still what you want to do?
Yeah.
I think I still want to be a lawyer. I'm just trying to find in which field yet. So far, I really like criminal law. But it
Something
doesn't
about
pay.
Criminal
all
law,
girls.
all women love that.
Like
bro.
y'all are
Yeah.
like I believe
I
that
like it
every
too, bro.
woman is secretly a psychopath because I see most of
On
our
Netflix,
girlfriends,
all they watch.
they love crime documentaries, like finding out about.
scammers.
It's like, why are you so obsessed over that?
Honestly,
I bet you watch Criminal Minds.
no, you know what? I don't, but I used to
I'm gonna start
watch.
watching now.
yeah, I'm gonna start with for sure. And also, oh my God, there's this guy on TikTok. He's a criminal lawyer, and I love that because he basically like just. He's been
So you
giving
can see the
classes, like
cases.
1 minute classes, like so nice. But no, I actually love it because of How to Get Away with Murder. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've watched it.
So you want to learn how to get away with
That's-
murder?
I mean,
Grande
Sometimes.
show.
All her
sometimes,
exes.
yeah. No, but like Annalise Keating, yeah, real G.
Bro,
and the acting's just
MVP,
amazing.
and honestly, I'm mad to this day. She suffered way too much.
Oh my God, these kids, right?
They're so
ungrateful.
annoying,
Oh
yeah.
my God. But no, so I feel like there's two worlds. The world of like people who just want to get into criminal law so bad because of like, yeah, I feel like it's either the corporate side with like Suits, and there's this new Netflix
That's my
show.
show. That's my show.
Suits is amazing.
Everyone wants to be Harvey Specter, right?
Yes.
Even I want to be him. Like,
Yes.
well, Jessica Pearson in my case, she's very inspiring. But yeah, so I feel like there's two sides: the side of people that just want to do criminal law, and the side of people that want to do like corporate law.
Yeah.
Because of what is portrayed on Netflix. But most of these shows, again, they're American, and I study French law, so there's definitely, like it's different systems. And like even in criminal law, if I'm not mistaken, like in the US, it's like présomption de culpabilité, like you're guilty
we
until
for sure
proven
know that.
Yeah.
innocent.
Here it's
and
not
here
that?
it's totally the opposite, like you're
Oh.
innocent until proven guilty. So a lot of principles like that, like they
They change.
differ based on the countries. But yeah, so watching Netflix, you're always like, wow,
Yeah.
law, it sounds like the real deal. And then you go to college, and at least the first year, it's so general that you're kind of disappointed, and you're like, okay, this doesn't look like what I expected. But if you don't hate it, I feel like you can always continue. But now, if you don't hate it and you're not able to see yourself just doing it for a living, then you should definitely drop out, because you're gonna suffer. Not only you're gonna get miserable grades, but also like if you don't like what you're being taught, then it's not worth it. I wasn't getting good grades, but at least I didn't hate it, and I was like, I'm looking forward to see, because I know that it can only get worse or better in the years to come. And I'm actually very happy I didn't quit despite the
You
hardships.
thought about quitting?
I did, but just because I wasn't getting academic validations. It wasn't so much about the course in itself, because it was very interesting. It's just that like, yeah, I wasn't getting the academic validation at all. Like back home, I was used to having like 16 out of 20, blah, blah, blah. And it came easily for me. And in the first semester, I didn't know what was expected from me. Like I didn't know the amount of work I needed to put in. I didn't know how many hours I was going to study. So I was just applying the same methods I had back in high school, thinking it was gonna...
That does not work.
Bad
You really can't
strategy,
do that.
bad
That's something
strategy.
I found out
Doesn't.
like back in high school. You'd never put like 15 hours in a single project.
yeah.
But here you can very easily do that. I was not ready for that at all. Like, yeah, you think you can work normally, still have a social life, still watch your shows on Netflix. No, that is like
It's
a
long gone.
luxury. That is a luxury I never expected in my life to. I did my first all-nighter. Like, I never had to do an all-nighter in high school. Like, actually not sleep all night because you have to give in this work.
Yeah.
You really got to prepare yourself mentally, and you do all that to get a 10, to get an 11, and you're happy because
Sometimes you
got
get an
overtime.
8, an 8 out of 20. Hello. Like,
all
what
you
is this
need is
thing?
a 10 and you're good. And in high school, you'd get a 10, you'd be kind of sad, disappointed.
Kinda. I would be very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I'd be fuming. But now here, yeah, exactly. I feel like I adapted my expectations a lot, because at first I just didn't know what to expect coming here. And that's why I was like kind of applying the same methods I had back home. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna...
It'll
I'm
work
gonna-
out.
yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do great with the minimal effort I was putting back in high school. And turns out college is completely different. And depending on what you're studying, and in my case, law, you definitely need to put in a lot of effort. And sometimes it's not really about studying hard, it's about studying smart. But before you actually go to the point where you study smart and you understand how your brain works and how you can like get to memorize information, it takes a lot of experience. Like you just have to experiment with a bunch of stuff. And so the first semester for me, I feel like I kind of downplayed
What it would.
What it was gonna be
How
like.
what
hard
it was gonna be.
Yeah.
And then I had the final exams in January, and I checked the results, and I was just like, okay,
yeah,
this
I
is
need to-
not it. And so it was basically like a slap on the face,
Yeah.
and I was like,
You
I
woke
need
up.
to wake up. Yeah, I immediately woke up, and I was like, I need to mature. I need to change my ways, because my old ways are not gonna work now. So I need to find new ways of studying. So for me, I had to learn like
A whole
whole
Like
new
how
way
you
of
do it.
living.
Have you ever
kind of.
thought
Completely.
about since you love fashion and we've seen that in the beginning of your content, have you ever thought about relating like law and fashion?
Yes. So sometimes I think about just being like a lawyer for these big companies like LVMH, like with Louis Vuitton and all that, and being in their cabinet juridique,
Yeah.
I don't know how's it called, and just like be in charge of like their intellectual property laws. So just like
integrate
work
it,
with
yeah.
these brands definitely. But for now, I'm still very open because it's more on the third year. So I'm
Okay.
second year. I'm in year 2 right now. So it's more like on the third year that you actually get to specialize and pick all your subjects. Second year, you kind of start specializing a little. So I would say I'm more on the private law side. There's public law, private law. Public law is all very interesting. At first, I thought I was really gonna like public law and like saving the world and working for the working for like ONU and all that. Turns out it's super interesting, but it's actually like so hard and honestly
for you.
very underpaid.
Yeah, not
so
worth it.
not worth it at all. So I was just like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna stick more to the private law side. Like handle divorces or maybe
gives money.
or maybe just go corporate. And but for now, I really like criminal law. But I know that here in France specifically, it doesn't pay as well. So I'm thinking maybe going corporate, and then like with the years and the experience, I'll just get to have my own clients, and I'll deal with everything, like not only business deals, but like eventually, if I have this big client, I've been working for the company for years, they're just gonna come for me for
Yeah.
advice because they're trying to divorce
Yeah,
their
for sure.
wife and like see.
She
everyone's
wants
gonna
to
be-
stick to love. Huh?
like certified lover girl breaking
Yes.
other people's marriages. No, it's not breaking their marriages. It's ensuring that they get legally protected because you're not getting out of this
She's
relationship.
already learning all the lingo.
Exactly, like you're not getting out of this relationship without any financial compensation. All the cheating, all the lying, all the betrayal for what? No.
She got intense.
There
She
needs
got
to be
intense.
some proof. There needs to be some legal accountability going on. So yeah.
Right.
But enough of all this negative talk.
Yeah.
Divorce,
I mean,
all that.
you're talking about money and you love fashion. Have you ever thought about doing something of your own?
Like you mean a brand or
Yeah,
something?
something like that.
When I was younger, so when I was like 12, 13, I was actually you know what, let me get into fashion journalism, or let me try and go to a fashion school. But then I was quickly discouraged because my dad was like, oh, but be realistic, like where would you work, and maybe have something more traditional, and then in your master's you can do what you want. So I kind of gave up on that idea. But fashion is still something I love. I go crazy over Fashion Week, always checking like all the catwalks, the new creations.
The
So
Met Gala.
yeah, oh my God. The event of the year. Yeah, I'm definitely like in my couch in pajamas, always judging the looks. So no, fashion for me, like it's still gonna be a passion. It's just I don't think I could.
Not professional.
Yeah, not professional. Or if I find a way, like Anderson suggested, to mix law
With
and
fashion.
with fashion, and like eventually work in the judicial
Yeah.
department of.
In your content, like you said that you started off with fashion. What made you like transition from fashion to more like vlogs and zabafos and Dr. Love?
Because then I realized that I didn't want to fit in a box. I didn't want people to just associate me with fashion content. I wanted them to associate
It's just
me
fun.
with fun and with everything that I had to offer. And
Yeah.
because I didn't just have opinions on fashion, and because I didn't just have fashion as a passion, I decided to combine all my passions. And one of my passions, as you probably noticed, is talking. And so I just love talking. I love conversations. I'm a big overthinker. My favorite YouTube videos are actually like video essays. So the 45-minute long videos
Jeez.
about
God
like Gen Z trend topics, or sometimes it's gonna be like a bit more on the political side. But I really like long videos. Also podcasts. I really, really, really enjoy educating myself on platforms such as YouTube. And so I felt like, why not do that on Instagram? So maybe make it shorter. And, just give my humble opinion on certain topics.
Yeah.
But sometimes people, they just look at, and especially like I started doing that when I was younger. So I was like 15. And when you start doing that very young, sometimes you really need to be careful.
Yeah, what you say.
Yeah, what you say and how you say it. Because also people, especially in Angola, they're just going to look and be like, yeah, this girl is far too opinionated for my taste. Like, she barely lived. How dare she, like, tell us?
Angolans love
I
her.
remember her
Our
video.
first hit
Precos.
comment. We had her first hit comment. It was some dude saying, teenagers talking
No,
about
no.
Middle
what was it?
schoolers.
No. The first one was it was about I went to Disneyland with my parents,
yeah.
and there was this kid on Instagram, and he was literally like. He was just on Instagram, and I made the joke as like me as a kid, I was on Instagram looking at booty, and the first comment was like, "What are these grown ass men complaining about children in Disneyland?"
That was the first one, but the second one was something like, "Who are these kids to talk about this?" And like it's
These
pretty much
middle
what you're saying.
schoolers.
And like,
It was always about age for some reason.
Yeah, like people just love to invalidate young people's thoughts, and I'm like, are we not allowed to have opinions, or are you uncomfortable with the fact that you weren't given the same opportunity to speak your mind back to me?
okay.
Like, no, for real, like, we need to clap back at these people because I'm allowed to express myself. We're all allowed to do that.
Y'all didn't want to clap back.
It's because like responding to hate is just never worth it.
Exactly. Like sometimes you just have to let it go, but that's definitely hard because sometimes you just see like this unjustified hatred over you on social media, and you're like, I'm coming for you. I'll be coming for you. Don't play with me. But other times it's just like not worth it, and you need to remind yourself that these people are just strangers, and you can't control and you just like. Unless it's actually constructive and it leads you somewhere, it actually doesn't matter. They don't know you. They're probably only comfortable hating on you because they're behind the screen. But maybe if they see you face to face and if you're actually relevant enough, they're going to ask for a picture, or maybe not ask for a picture, but like talk to you.
Yeah.
So some haters, they're actually just fans. Like sometimes they're mad because you have the guts to say things that they would never have the guts for. And so I'm like,
You know what?
it's okay.
I always tell them it's like it's almost the same thing because like the algorithm or Insta doesn't know if it's a hater or like a fan, you know. So it's like, bro, just like the thing, comment back, and it does the same thing.
Exactly. Like sometimes and also hate. Sometimes it's a good way to bring light into your work because you get these negative comments and people are gonna be curious and like, okay, let's see what all this hate is
Why are
about,
they hating?
and then they can make their own opinions out of your content and actually be fair and realize, maybe all this hatred is unjustified, and they're actually like they're trying and.
Yeah.
They're gonna appreciate your work for what it is eventually, and if they have to criticize, then might as well hope that it's gonna be positive and it's gonna help you somehow.
Yeah.
But definitely tons of hate. And to go back to what you said, being perceived is so hard because it's just like Jose said, you're living your life or you're sharing an opinion, and someone is gonna have an opinion on why you are the way you are, and it's like at the end of the day, it's fair game. Like you put yourself out there in the internet.
That's
so
what I want to say.
Yeah.
That's the danger with the internet.
Yeah.
Like the point where you put yourself on the internet, it's like anybody can see that, anybody can think
Do
whatever
what
they
they
want
want,
for you. And like it's pretty hard. Like if you're not prepared mentally for it, it can be pretty hard. Like we started this knowing that we don't care about what people are gonna
We
say.
said it like we're doing it for ourselves. Like we're talking like these experiences that we're talking about, like our first years in university and our adult life. Like this is our way of documenting it.
Yeah.
And it's like it'll be up and other people can watch and families and friends and whoever can watch, but it's our way of just like keeping that.
But like for people that aren't expecting that, I feel like it can be draining. Like mentally, it can be draining, I think.
Oh, for sure. But I really liked what you said about the fact that you guys are doing this for you first and then for others. Because some people, they start creating content for the wrong reasons. That's not to say that we don't all create content because we're expecting
sure.
some,
Obviously.
some attention back.
like.
Like, of course, engagement is important, and it's super gratifying when you put like all these hours into thinking of content, editing it, preparing it. Like it almost feels like work, even if you love it.
I feel like that's the best part. It's like because we know, like nobody actually knows the work that you're putting into it, or sometimes when something goes wrong and you somehow find a way to fix it, and after you post it and somebody texts like, oh, I watched this episode and it was just awesome, I learned something, or you made my day. Like I remember a friend of his girlfriend said that to us, and we're like, oh shit, like us just talking and having fun together made somebody else's day brighter, and that was cool.
Yeah, we
It
really
was
are.
one person, but if like
it feels good.
You appreciate it.
No,
you know,
exactly.
like knowing that people enjoy your content, what you do, and that the fact that you do it, you know, that's the whole point.
pushes you to do more. But I wanted to ask you about one of your videos. Those Zabafu videos. You mentioned that you used Photoshop in one of the pictures.
Yeah.
And no, but I thought it was interesting. First of all, props to you to say that.
What was the video, by the way? I don't
like,
remember.
oh,
yeah, like
expose
why
me.
did I expose myself like this?
But I wanted to, like, since we're talking about social media, like, what do you think is the impact of, like, seeing all this perfection so much? What do you think that does to people? Like,
yeah, like I feel like it definitely. Sometimes you don't have any complex about yourself, like you're okay with the way you look, and then you go on Instagram and you see people looking perfect and you're kind of discouraged. So for someone who doesn't have a strong sense of self, or if they're not feeling good, because sometimes like self-esteem fluctuates, like
Yeah,
there's a
for
day
sure.
where you're gonna feel like you're that bitch, and on another day you're just gonna feel super
Like
low,
trash.
and it's okay. And so if you're feeling like trash and you go on Instagram and you see like people living this perfect lives and perfect looks, yeah, sometimes you can get discouraged, especially like if you don't fit in the body trend or the beauty trend right now, because they're always evolving with time. I feel like now we're going back to the
what
times
was
where
it?
being
Heroin
skinny is
chick or
nice again.
something. I forgot.
Yeah, like right now we're going to the heroin chick
Yeah.
aesthetic, where like apparently it's okay to be skinny again, but before it was all like the BBL trend. And so
Yeah.
if you didn't have like fat booty, small boobs, and like
Yeah.
a slim waist, you just didn't fit into the criteria. So I feel like because the concept of beauty and the standards, they're always evolving. I feel like at the end of the day, you just kind of need to try to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like it's all about mentality. Like, in my case, like, I don't think I'm perfect or anything, but I'm a pretty confident person. And when I see people on social media with like a perfect life, with a perfect body, right? I kind of use that as motivation for myself. Like,
Same.
instead of being jealous of them, like, kind of use that as motivation. Tell yourself, oh, one day, you know, I'm gonna achieve my perfect body for myself. And
when you
I
see
feel like
Michael
if
B.
everyone,
Jordan,
oh, when I see
That
Michael
one
B.
hurts a little
Jordan,
bit.
I'm like, nah, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna look better than you one day. That's
That-
all.
That reminds me of a video Ornella made, like a short video on Instagram, where she was like, Instagram is not for insecure, jealous people.
Yeah.
And she made that video in Portuguese. And I was like, she's so right. Because at the end of the day, people are going to show you exactly what they want to show you. They're not going to show you pictures of them crying
highlight.
and struggling
It's a highlight of their
financially
life.
or emotionally. Exactly. So we're only we're only putting out there what we want people to see. And obviously, we don't want we don't want people to see us sweat.
Obviously,
So
yeah.
naturally, it's only convenient for us to make sure that people see the good,
best.
like
Yeah.
the trips, the
Kristen's
moments,
working out, not sweating.
exactly. Like it's only right that we show them how great life can
Yeah.
be. Like post your boyfriend, your girlfriend, post your friends, post the locations you're at, your trips. Only the good sides of life, really. So it's all about perspective, as you said.
Exactly.
Like if you put it in mind that like this person's life's not necessarily better than mine, and I'm exactly where I need to be. Like sometimes you just need to try to find contentment with who you are and the face that was given to you, the body that was given to you. And eventually, if you want to better your physical appearance, your routine, something about your life,
Change
change it with the means that you have, or like try to go to a point where you actually have the means to change what you're unhappy about.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, don't give your power to other people to the point where they can dictate how you feel about yourself. Like, they point out a single flaw about how your face look like, and then that's it. All of a sudden, like, you're trying to get, like...
They want their approval.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like we just have to remind ourselves that external validation is not that deep, because, okay, it's all fun and games when you get that validation, but what stops when all of a sudden you're being canceled for something you said
Yeah.
or did? You no longer have that validation. And what does that make you? How will that make you feel? Like you'll stop loving yourself all of a sudden? Why does your self-love come from other people's perception of you, you know? And it's easier said than done, of course.
Yeah,
it's far
obviously.
more complex than it. But I did use Photoshop at times. But I feel like, and that's something I like about the person that I was, is that like back then I had tons of acne. I had braces as well for a couple of years. And what I really like is that it never stopped me from actually showing my smile, even if I wasn't a big fan of how it looked. It never prevented me from posting stories or normal posts of how my skin looked like. So in a way, I feel like I was also able to be very transparent with what my flaws or insecurities were. And I was showcasing them to the world, which can be good and bad.
No, but I think
I
it's
feel like
good.
that's really good.
It is.
People need to be kind of exposed to that
Reality.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole problem with people, like when they see influencers on social media, like people like Kylie Jenner and stuff like that, they'll associate them with perfection and associate themselves with imperfection, kind of expecting themselves to be that way when that's just not reality. And
Ooh, too many facts on this podcast.
with people like you, like actually exposing yourself, like physically the way you actually are, it'll make people see that you can totally have acne.
be you, yeah.
You can be confident. You can have acne. You can have a certain type of body and still be confident
Still be happy, yeah.
exactly, and love yourself.
And I feel like for me, it was a testament for how much I was trying to love myself, or how much I loved myself despite the acne and despite like the braces and how it could be perceived, because sometimes, well, now my skin is clear, thank God, thank medication, thank Rokitan. But when I look at pictures of myself like a year ago, before I started my treatment 2 years ago, and I see that the pictures are still there on Instagram, I feel so much compassion for the person that I was, because I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Like I was able to actually own it. Yeah, she's so cute. She was able to own it. I'm so obsessed. Oh my God, I sound like such a narcissist. No, but like, generally,
we all are.
love yourselves, guys. No, but yeah, I feel so much compassion for the person that I was, and that I was able to assume myself. But I was gonna say the downside of it is that you're like, on one hand, people are gonna appreciate you for being so real and for giving them that breath of fresh air of like, you're not only giving perfection, so like when your makeup is done and you're all flawless, you're also giving them like what you look like on the daily. But the downside of it is that you're kind of you're kind of showcasing your insecurities, and people can use them against you.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you're showing exactly how your skin looks in the moment. Lots of people are going to applaud you for being real, and they're going to be like, yeah, I can definitely relate to you. I'm also struggling with acne. And then there's always going to be this one person, or sometimes like there's going to be like tons of person coming for you, and they're going to be like, how dare she be happy with her skin looking like that? Like, you look miserable, and you need to stop convincing yourself that you're flawless, and you need to stop like wanting validation over here because you're ugly and you're not allowed to look like this.
Damn.
And it never
From a real place.
yeah, like I've been keeping this for a while, but not so much about acne. It was more about like my braces, because when you talked about hate, before even thinking of the whole like boyfriend scenario, because like at the end of the day, that's not really hate, and it was just like funny to see that I was posting my relationship and people were lurking and like, I can't wait for them to break up. No, but like the real hate I felt was actually in 2019. I had posted a picture of me smiling, and I had braces, and you know how my gingiva, how do you say that in English?
I have no idea.
Yeah, the red part. My gingiva has always been very big, even now that I don't have braces. Because I want to know too. Even now that I don't have braces anymore, like it's just a part of my smile, you know? And so I posted a picture of me smiling. So the acne was showing, the teeth was showing. And then like I had posted this pic like in October. And in November, on a random day, I wake up. That's why I no longer touch my phone first thing in the morning, because you're just going to wake up to awful news. Yeah. And so I wake up, I go on WhatsApp.
It's the gum.
Oh, true.
Gum.
The gum.
Yeah. All right, her gums, whatever.
Okay, so I have pretty big gums, whatever. And and so one day, like a month later after I posted this picture, I just wake up. And I have like 5 different notifications from people that don't even know each other, right? So it was like my cousin, a friend from school, and then like other friends outside of school. And they're just like, yeah, I don't know if you heard or if you've seen, but people have been sharing this picture you posted on your Instagram a month ago, and they're making fun, and they're making fun of your smile. And then they just started like sending me screenshots, and they were basically like sharing my picture on group chats, and even like on WhatsApp status, they were like, mulher com 90% de gengiva, 10% de dentes, and someone like cut my smile.
Our goal is to have any respect.
No, for real. feel like no mercy whatsoever.
That's fucked up.
But it's okay, like really, like today I
That's what
laugh
it is.
about it. Like it wasn't okay back then.
I bet.
I kind of felt bullied, but
I mean,
That's
it
the
is.
internet.
It's literally cyberbullying. But
yeah, that's literally cyberbullying. Like, no, because there were actually like a lot of people in different group chats and people I never heard of, or like other people I heard of, and they were like hating on me, and I was like, I see you, because you.
Never.
The block list.
That's the thing. People are hella quick to hate, but
They
then
are.
to support you, it's a different story,
Exactly. Like it takes 10 seconds to, let's say, hate on what you guys are doing right now. So like, so you guys are doing a podcast
Yeah.
for what? But like, then it actually takes way longer to actually go listen to one of your podcasts and see what you have
Exactly.
to say and see like, what's the thought, what's the intention behind of that initiative. Like people are so quick to judge because it's easier. But sometimes you just don't have to take it personal because it's a reflection of how unhappy they are with themselves. And they're gonna hate on people who are like more blunt with their opinions and who actually have the gut.
People that have the courage to do what they want to do.
Exactly.
And I always say, like, I feel like anybody who I know who's like happy with themselves, it's like, even if I don't like something or I feel a particular way about something, I'm not gonna take my time to write a comment about it. I'm
What
just
is
like,
the
fuck
point,
this,
bro?
and I move on with my day. I'm not gonna go
How
down
can
there.
you go online and hate on something that you say you don't care about, but you took the
You
time
watched
out of
it.
your day to watch it, to hate on it, to comment about it? Like, what are you doing with your life?
I feel like some people, they sleep in peace. Okay, I hated on 10 people today. Like, that's it. Like, my mission's done for today. I feel like sometimes, certain people's full-time job, it's really just to be
To be
hating
a troll on the
others.
internet.
And no, so all these reasons of like, sometimes you're just gonna be yourself on the internet and maybe not right in the moment you do it, but months later someone is gonna
bring it
come
back
and
up, yeah.
and bring it back up and try to make you feel bad about yourself for exposing yourself in the way you did. And like on one hand, people were happy with the fact that I was showing the not so perfect sides of my life and the way I looked. But also like at some point, I feel like influencers in general and like content creators, they're expected to provide people with consistency, and they're also expected to always be available, like post stories. And I feel like, and in the Angolan community, at least something I notice is that but like even in Brazil, I'd say like in all countries, to be honest, but I'm speaking from an Angolan point of view
for
because
sure.
my audience was Angolan. So in my way of trying to relate to the other influencers, like on Instagram or other like content creators, there was just this very specific way of behaving where you almost have to post stories 24/7 and speak to the camera and show your day to day and be like, hi guys, how are you doing? So today I did this, this and that. And in a way it feels kind of fake. It feels very performative. And I just didn't want to be available 24/7. And the thing is, like, once you stop being available or once you stop being consistent, it's like you're no longer relevant.
Yeah.
Or like when you come back, you're expected to stay. And that's the reason why I haven't made a video. It's not because I'm like, it's not because I ran out of ideas, because clearly I have like lots of ideas in my notes app. It's just that I'm like, but if I come back, they're going to expect me to be here every other week. And I'm not sure I have the energy to do it because other things have became a priority, like my studies, my life here. And and also I just wouldn't know how to come back anymore. Like what?
this, you're gonna come back like this.
Yeah.
Like this.
Where she's gonna get hella DMs. Yo, please. It was so far being on their podcast. So to kind of like, because it's been a while now. We've almost been talking for over an hour.
Okay, wait. Then I'll let you finish later. I just want to say, do you feel famous in Angola? Because I mean, a lot of people know you. Like when you go out, when you.
Have you ever had somebody ask for your picture?
Yes. In 2020, I think.
Oh, she remembers the day.
In the vlog era. And it was actually in Lisbon. It was in Colombo, like a shopping center where all
Of course,
Angolans go.
The embassy of Angola. For you.
And I was walking with a friend randomly, and this like little girls, they were probably like 10 or 11, like my brother's age, and they were like, Noémy, how are you? We follow you on your
How'd you
Instagram.
feel?
I was so shy. I was like, oh my God, is this actually happening? And it happened like some 3-4 other times in the same summer. I guess it was because I was just being very active.
Or
And
she was popping.
my content was popping indeed. And so I'm always super shy, and people always say in person like, oh wow, you're actually way nicer than we thought you were going to be. So yeah, I did feel maybe not famous, but I'd say like
Known.
Yeah, known. But to go back to a question you made, what would I tell my 18-year-old self? Yeah, I didn't forget.
Good.
We've been talking a lot.
I was going to kind of edit on that. Yeah.
Good.
What would I tell? So the Noémy I was a year ago, I would say
A few
that
days ago.
yeah.
True.
The clash is real.
Let's change the question. Maybe not 18-year-old, but like let's say the Noémy that started posting videos. Like, imagine you could go back to the beginning of your journey. What would you tell that girl?
Noémy posted her first video. What do you tell her?
I tell her, wow.
I bet it's hard.
Yeah. Okay. I
I was
think
gonna end on the lighter question because that's hard. But go
It
on.
is.
I think I was just gonna tell her like, own it, girl. Be yourself, and who you are is going to evolve and change so many times, like with the years. But as long as you stay true to who you are now, it doesn't really matter who you once were. And like always make sure that your expectations of who you want to be, that they don't conform to like what other people want you to be. Is it clear?
Yeah, that-
Does it make sense?
Sure.
And to my 18-year-old self, I guess like just you have no idea how crazy life will get. And I feel like ever since I turned 18 and moved here, life has just been amazing in so many ways.
Yeah.
But speaking about life, we were kind of giving a terrible image about the student life, talking about how depressing it is, the grades and stuff. Do you have kind of a positive story that you could give, you could tell us?
Just lay down something positive.
Something like amazing that you went through as a student, kind of a story.
Oh,
Whenever you
wow. Just so many things.
Put her on the spot.
Okay.
Gotta get used to this famous life. Gotta be fast with your question.
So, okay. I'd say, I don't know how entertaining this story actually is, but before I decided to go to law school, I wanted to do Sciences Po, like one of the best
Political
colleges
science, but
political
it's the college
sciences.
here.
So it's a very famous college here in France, very prestigious, and that was my first choice. And so I was actually like super disappointed when I got rejected, and my second option was like Sorbonne, so I ended up going to law school Sorbonne here. And when I came here, my best friends, who are still my best friends today, but like I met them a year ago, first year, we were all Sciences Po rejects. And we all wanted, in Sciences Po, they have so many campuses all over France, and we all wanted the exact same campus, and we were all rejects.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so that means that if we were in Sciences Po, we probably would have met because, you know, we're the same age, we were going to be in the same campus, and we're here and we still met. So in a way, it's like
kind
maybe it's destiny. Yeah, kind of fate, definitely. And sometimes rejection is just redirection. Like
Okay. One more time.
yeah, like for real, like sometimes you're gonna feel like your whole world is crumbling because you had certain expectations for yourself, certain plans, and then some plans or some relationships or some like professional experiences, they don't work out like you wanted them to work out because the final outcome is gonna be far more better than you actually imagined it to be. And that's how good it felt to know that like we were all rejected. But if we weren't, or like even the fact that we were, brought us together anyway. So it definitely felt like fated encounters.
Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. And funny story is that I have a friend named Karma, and she's Lebanese, and we actually have friends in common. And same for like other people I've met in uni. Turns out I have friends from summer camps, like from Switzerland or the UK, that follow them and their friends. And I was like, bro, the world is so small. Like the amount of people I've met in Paris or like, yeah, in uni that know people I know from summer camps, or like it's just insane. We're all connected in a way. So
One of the good things
And
of
who
social media.
knows? Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe if you had actually gone to Sciences Po, it wouldn't have been the same. You wouldn't have
the same
made such good
opportunities.
friends. You wouldn't have
Yeah.
friends that know other friends. You know.
for sure.
At
Oh,
the
and
end of
also
the
like
day.
I have a story actually. It happened like a week ago. So there was this girl. She's 3 years older, and she used to study in our school in Luanda, right? But we never really talked when she was there. But it's just like it was a small high school, so everyone
Yeah,
knows each other. We
everybody-
remember
yeah,
each other's
yeah,
faces.
for sure.
And so I was living one of the campuses of my uni to go to the other campus, and I was walking and like there's a bunch of people, and she's walking. I haven't seen her in like 6 years or something. She's walking in this direction, I'm walking in this direction with like a bunch of people. And then we just stop like, she's like, wait, were you in Angola? And I was like, yes, are you Rocio? And she was like, yes, what are you doing here? Like, what are the
Movie
odds?
scene.
Yeah, it was exactly. I was like, wow, the multiverse is real. And like just the amount of times where I've crossed paths with people I haven't seen in years, and in such a big city like Paris, you're like, wow, the world is actually not big at all. Or like the city is actually not big at all. You're gonna see people you haven't seen in years, and turns out she lived like right next to my uni campus, and we got to talk. So like, what are the odds, really?
Any last thing you'd like to say to your fans, to the people who've missed you so much? Sorry, maybe. No, kidding.
Well, I can't promise if I'm coming back or not. Maybe I'll just have to redefine my relationship with social media and content creation for now on. What's for sure is that I have lots of things to share still, lots of ideas. I just don't know how to come back or when to come back, but maybe you guys are gonna give me a little push and I might feel motivated to do it. But thanks for supporting my content if you were there when I was posting it. And who knows, I might come back one day. And thanks for requesting me to come to this podcast. And I want to thank you guys for having me here once again.
Our pleasure.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure.
It was amazing, and it was so easy to talk to you guys, so we can do that whenever. And you guys have a beautiful project going on, and I wish you tons of success, and I'm looking forward to the next guests.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, that was Noémy. Go follow her on Instagram and
Like-
follow us
Private
too.
right now, but I might accept
And
you.
comment. Tell us what you thought about the video. If you like this format with a guest, and
If you like
Thank
it
you for
being a bit
watching.
longer. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell.
All that stuff. Bye. Bye. Ladies, love you. Ciao.
Ciao.